was in my bed with my husband, turned over, just lay. She was just laid out, legs wide open. She was rolling around. She literally got in doggy style position, booty out, rocking back, and I was like, "What is this heifer doing?"
I'm Nakia.
I'm Dawn.
And I'm Camila.
We are the Middle-Aged Mamas. We are back with another episode of Middle-Aged Mamas. I'm here with Camila.
It's me.
And Dawn. And we are here to bring you all the info of middle-agedness. I need to come up with a new
middle-agedness is the thing.
But lots of parenting too, because at this age, a lot of our activity does revolve around our kids.
Yeah.
But we will definitely give you all the ins and out of the gracefully aging process
and being fabulous.
Yeah, but what is going on with this weather? We are in LA.
Oh my goodness!
And I swear we haven't seen a sunny day in
the last couple
days.
of days. The sun comes out like in the mid or the end of the day, but at least the clouds are burning off.
It's awful. It's making me so sleepy, and I'm not a sleepy person. Like when I'm a crack of dawn type of person, I get up, I start my day.
I don't like that misty stuff.
Yeah,
I
just got my car washed, and as I was coming over here, I saw those drizzles. I'm like, come on!
I'm like, I don't want to.
And you know what I read the other day? That isn't El Nino. Does that mean we're going to have a rainy season? Where it's going to be super rain? No. Like when fall starts to hit.
Oh, I don't
it's going to be like super rainy because this year was supposed to be La Nina, and so El Nino, I guess it's supposed to be rainy.
Really?
Last year was very rainy, so I can't imagine it's going to be.
I didn't mind that.
I didn't either. Everything is so green and beautiful.
It was nice.
But it's time for the sun to come out. We're used to the pool and the beach.
When the sun comes out,
I know.
you guys are going to be like, "Oh, I wish this sun would go away," because it's going to be hot until October.
Yeah, especially in the valley, and I get dressed according to what it looks like out my window, and then work near the beach. So once I get to work,
it's cold.
It's completely
it's dark.
I'm layered up.
Yeah, I've been wearing sweatshirts all day long. I need a little bit of sun.
I don't mind being cozy. I don't mind it.
So that's because you just go take a nap.
And I work at home.
Oh yeah.
Camila goes to put a bonnet on, as Dee said, and take a nap.
You don't know nothing about what I do. I don't be wearing no bonnet.
Bonnet.
Oh my God. So this week, Grant and Christian, my two youngest, got into a little tiff on the phone. They're in a little phone group chat, and they have phones. They got them when they were 12. And we've set,
good idea or bad idea?
It's been fine. We've set really strict rules of what is allowed and what's not allowed.
How long have they had them?
A year now, because they got them when they were 12. They're 13 now. The first two were a breeze. They're the rule followers. These two are good. They're the rule. I'm a test and see. They're like real kids. Which is fine. They all have their own personalities.
The last two are the testers. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But they check each other, but one more than the other. So they got into an argument, and they have a little group chat. It's like 5 friends. And one of them decided to record their argument and post it in the group chat. Yeah. And so we found out about
the brothers argument?
To humiliate the other one in the group chat.
No.
So then the other one comes up crying, they put me in the group chat.
Oh, no.
And they know, like, whatever goes on in this house stays in the house.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
I wasn't getting it, but now I'm getting it.
Yeah. You don't put your
He recorded the Chris or the other brother in the house somewhere.
Oh, arguing. The other brother posted it?
Yes.
Oh.
I thought one of the kids in the group chat.
I thought one of the kids in the group chat.
They're not on social media at all.
Yeah.
So they have a group of 5 that's on one little chat, and they posted it on there. And we're like, are you kidding me? Like, that's rule number 1. Absolutely not. We don't do that. Whatever, tips you get into, stay in this house. We work it out. We figure it out. Because what people don't know, especially with identical twins, they will have a blowout fight, and literally 5 minutes later, be outside playing basketball. Yeah. But then the other little kids,
and they're brothers. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
Siblings.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was, obviously, the phone got taken away immediately. And
both of them or just one?
Both of them. And so I said, they're like, well, when are we going to get it back? And I'm of the mindset of, that's just the dumbest the dumbest consequence ever, taking it, and then they just wait out the time. Like, oh, I'm gonna get it back eventually. So I was laying in the bed the next morning pondering, because I knew they were gonna come up the next day. Like, when am I gonna get my phone back? And I was like, oh, we're going to work this out another way. You're going to do community service. One of you has 12 hours that did the recording. One of you has 10 hours.
Nice.
And once you complete that, you are going to earn it back.
Nice.
And if it happens again, it's gone forever, because you don't need it in the first place.
Not
forever.
For the summer?
No,
forever.
Because you can't show the responsibility of following the rules that we set. You don't even need it. It's not a need. It's a want. And I can reach you any time of day that I need to.
And it's not like they need to call you
this
for
is
a
an
ride.
absolute privilege.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's the one time. But the community service aspect to me is them feeling it, like we talked about in the last episode, and earning it, and knowing that there's a strong consequence that you are going to have to work.
And it's a privilege, like you said.
To get it back. And hopefully that will sit in and they'll feel it. They've worked tirelessly. I said you can do it at home, helping, community service with your siblings, doing extra things. The neighbors, they helped out with the yard sale yesterday. They were rolling racks down. So it's like a real consequence.
Yeah.
Not just waiting the time, because a lot of times as parents, when we give our kids all these new things and gadgets and phones, and then we take it away, they're just waiting.
Time, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're just waiting, chilling, like, oh, okay, so this isn't too bad. And it really doesn't set in to feel it.
Or they find other ways, because taking the phone away, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
But they are so clever that they find other ways. They can communicate on their iPads by text. They can get on their
Send an
so
email.
So I certainly feel like I need something more in my toolbox as well, because they find a way. They find a way. So that's 100%. Good. That's
but
good.
I did take the time to read through their chats while I had it.
Oh yeah.
And I was looking at what the kids were saying, and
absolutely.
I was like, well, at least they're surrounded by a good crew, because most of them were like, you guys, have you worked it out yet? Or they're like, you're being annoying, or just ignore them, or they were positive. So that was pretty good. I was pleased with that. But
is it all boys in the chat, or is it boys and girls?
It's, I think, 3 boys, 2 girls, or something like that. They have 2 friends that are girls that are in there too. So I just thought that was a good method, and maybe it can help somebody take it to the next level, because it honestly is not enough just taking things for 5 minutes and then they have it back, and the behavior typically will repeat.
Are they going to run out of things to do? Or are you going to take them somewhere else, like feed the homeless, to hand out
They
bags?
have plenty of stuff to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pick up trash. With the grabber nabber going around and grabbing, the trash and keeping our community clean. So there's always stuff to do. But anybody else?
Pulling weeds.
Yeah, it's a plethora of things to do.
Yeah, I always have some good yard
you guys
work.
got a gardener. They could get the lawnmower and mow that front lawn.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff. They were pulling the weeds the other day, because outside the house, the gardeners never get inside the house. So it looked like an abandoned lot over there. And I had them pulling them all up. But because they want it, they're asking for ways
Stuff to do.
Yeah.
So you're not going to let them have it earlier than the normal time?
Yeah, they have to clock in and clock out. Yeah.
Not only do I take phones, but I also take, for my son, video game. The video game. And that's like...
But what I have noticed is they haven't had it in a couple days, and I didn't realize it before, but they have been present in the common spaces more. And I always thought that it wasn't a problem, because we are always together a lot.
Do isolate you. You take your phone and you go off and do
it's true, because before this, I didn't realize that they were spending so much time away from the common areas. And lately, like last night, we were playing Monopoly, or they've been more active with the family as a whole. My older 2 are always under us, trying to hang out, watch movies, whatever. But those 2 were more isolated, so it did open my eyes to see, oh hey, they've been spending a little bit more time away from the common areas, because they'll take their phone and go do
And it's funny, because my son has been trying to call both of them. They won't answer the phone. No one's calling me back.
He didn't even know.
No, he didn't know. So that's why.
So feeling good.
Yeah,
they had a good old consequence.
The friends are always concerned, because the first time I took my daughter's phone for an extended period of time. She was, when she went back to school, she was like, my friends were thinking that you beat me. I'm like, we don't beat you. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably what you, that's probably what you need. Right. But yeah, the kids are always, so worried. But my week, and I didn't have to give a consequence, but my daughter, who just turned 17, the other day, my kids are out of school already. They've been out for a week, and I still had another full week at school with students, and then another week next week, just professional development and stuff. So the other morning, I was leaving, I was saying goodbye, I was calling to my daughter because she's cat sitting, and the cat was up doing its thing, and I was calling out to her saying, hey, do you see?
This is a full grown cat?
It is.
And do you like cats?
So we have a cat. She has a cat.
Don't they make you sneeze?
I'm not, we both, my daughter and I both had allergies, but I'm not allergic. Neither she and I are not allergic to the cat that she has.
What about everybody else?
No, they never had allergies.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have allergies. And so this was a cat that my daughter got during the pandemic. And I feel like this cat saved her life. Like, this is her comfort cat. This is her cat. She's even trying to find out how, when she goes to college, that she can take it.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like
you probably can nowadays.
Yes, and you can fill out this application to have your pet as your emotional support. And so I used to say, that. And her cat's name is Biscuit. I used to say she doesn't Biscuit. We rescued Biscuit. I used to say she don't like nobody but Biscuit, and Biscuit don't like nobody but her. So they are very, very, very close. And a friend of mine and her daughter went to Costa Rica for about a week and a half. So we're cat sitting this other cat.
So there's two cats in the house.
There are two cats in the house, and the other cat is a female. Biscuit is a male. Oh Lord. The female cat is not fixed.
Wait a minute. Do they do it? Do cats do it?
Listen.
Yes, they do. Biscuit probably got pregnant.
Do they hump?
Listen.
How do cats do it?
Listen.
That's how they
Oh my goodness.
The male cat has whiskers on his penis.
Really?
I think so.
So
yes.
my daughter's cat is my daughter's cat is male. Yeah, that's the mating call. My daughter's cat is male.
That's the mating call?
And fixed. Yes, they sound like a baby whining. Yeah. They sound like a baby crying.
Maybe I should do that.
It is okay to get you. If that's gonna get you something,
girl. Or chase the dog away.
Let me tell you what else she's doing. Maybe you could do this instead of the wine. So the other stuff might work. So
I'm looking up male cat penis.
Now you're gonna have me checking for the penis with the whiskers. So
where does it come out from? I've never seen a cat.
No
penis.
idea. I've never.
Why did I think all cats were female?
Not erect.
They're so bitchy. I thought all cats were female.
No. Our cat is male and fixed. This little cat that we're watching is female and not fixed. This chick was in heat, horny as
the visiting
hell. The visiting cat.
She's a hoe.
She is a hoe, and she knows she a hoe. This child was in my bed with my husband, turned over, just lay. She was just laid out, legs wide open. She was rolling around. She literally got in doggy style position, booty out, rocking back and I was like, "What is this heifer doing?"
Emit something.
How did she get into your bed? She just had rain in the house.
She just walked into our room. Door was open. I wasn't in there.
Yes,
she jumped into the bed, and he's in there on the. I even took a picture of it.
Wait a minute.
She
jumped. I'm sorry. Please tell me. The male cat was on the bed. And
no. My husband.
The whole cat was.
My husband was in the bed by himself. And this little hoe cat joins him in the bed. So her name is yes, it's either Leona or Leola, one of those. It's a grandma name. And they call her Leo.
The cat.
So I have a list of new names for her. Biscuit's little hot tail friend is one. Biscuit's fast tail friend. The booty licker. So here we go. So Biscuit does not know what's going on. This child, when I tell you, she is trying to get her son. She's trying to get pregnant. So,
oh my God,
Biscuit will just be walking.
Did they know the cat was going to be in heat when they dropped it off?
They know. I sent a text to Costa Rica. I was like,
"Excuse me,
this child is in heat. How long does this last?" And they're like, "Oh, again? She was just in heat last week." It lasts, I think she said like 5 to 6 days. I was like, this is going to be awful. So Biscuit will just be walking by, minding his little business. She will roll up to him and start licking his booty hole.
She's trying to.
So if you want to start, if you want to try, if you want to learn some new stuff, maybe not the she comes up, she comes up, she licks his butt, and I'm over there clapping like, stop licking Biscuit's booty.
That's not gonna stop it.
She licks his booty. She gets in doggy style position. She even like puts her paws back like this. Like she is wrecked. Yeah, like she's trying to get full. Like she want to be able to get all of it. And then she gets under my dining room table. There's a rug, and she just rolls around like all sensual. Just everything.
What is Biscuit doing? Is he like
Biscuit is ignoring her. Biscuit has no idea what's happening.
Not fixed.
Biscuit is fixed.
Oh,
so Biscuit can't get her pregnant. Biscuit can't get her pregnant, but she like, I'ma get pregnant. She is just as
somebody gonna get me.
Somebody gonna get me. Somebody gonna.
Oh my God.
So okay, all that aside, I'm calling my daughter like, come and get. So not only that, so we have 2 cats in the house, and I have a bird, Sky. These fools,
how does that match?
It's like a whole episode of like Tom and Jerry. So this cat is like jumping up. What is it, like Tweety Bird? I don't know. This cat they jump up on the table. They're looking at the bird. The bird's looking. The bird is the bird is chirping. She's like doing her moaning mating call. It's like a whole zoo. So I went out there. I'm trying to see. Let's make sure you take care of this. I leave. I'm saying goodbye to everybody. I leave.
Oh my God.
My husband sends me a text, and he's like, do you know your daughter's not here? She told Landon, our son, that she was leaving. So I'm just like,
she woke Landon up and told him that I'm out the house?
I have no idea. So then he sends me another text, and I'm driving to work. It takes me like an hour, 10 minutes or so. Then he says she left at 1:50 a.m., went out the sliding door, and then went out the side gate. Because if she had gone out the front door, it would have said front door. If you go out the side door, it just does a little chirp on his phone. So I was like, what are you talking about? You know, so then I called him, and he said, yeah. I was like, how do you know? So he had looked up on the alarm system, and he was able to see what time the door.
Did someone pick her up, or did she walk
Girl,
somewhere?
I'm gonna get to it. So in the video, and the camera is out there too, so it's recording her. He's like, yep, she went out the sliding door, she closed it, and our sliding door, you pull it hard and it automatically locks.
Oh, that's good.
And then she went out, so she locked
Was
the door.
she dressed in like civilian clothes or pajamas?
Oh, she was dressed. Oh. She was dressed for it.
That's like, was she sleepwalking?
Oh, she was sleepwalking. Then she went out the side gate. My husband texted her like, where are you? And she's like, oh, I'm with her friend, a girl. I'm with such and such.
He texted her when?
That in the morning. This is like 7:00 in the morning. So then I'm calling. I'm like, what are you doing? This is totally, irresponsible, unacceptable, dangerous, all of these things. So she sends us a text, and it was this long, long text. And this is my daughter that I've had a lot of issues with, and she's finally so wonderful and pleasant, and it has been a long time coming, and I'm so happy about it. And so she sent us a very long text. I'm going to read it. She says, "Hi, Mom and Dad. I am very sorry for shaking up your morning. I just wanted to explain a bit of my thought process to leave home at 2 a.m. Yes. With each year that I get older, I wish more and more that I could still be who I was before. I didn't have my problems out in the open. I had a stable group of friends. I was happy enough to the point of full functioning. I cry on every birthday except for the last one. I'm finally happy and stable.
Wow.
My life is still, but I've missed out on so many years of being a teenager and making mistakes because I was so afraid of everything around me. I have no stories to tell because I let my sadness glue my body to my bed for years. I know it was wrong to leave at 2 a.m, telling no one I was gone but Landon. I didn't do drugs. I didn't have sex. I didn't smoke. I went to IHOP with my new friend. We went to the park and skated, then went to the beach and napped. I know it was dangerous, but I just wanted to try it once. I just didn't want to care, and I'm not so dumb. I knew you would see me in the camera. I just felt I wouldn't get in too much trouble, and leaving out my window was too hard to figure out. I will never sneak out again. I hope I didn't break too much of you guys' trust, because in the way that I talk to new people and don't fear the next day, I now love the relationship I have with you guys. I hope you can forgive me. I will accept any consequences to come. And I'm taking the bus home in 10 minutes. I have been waiting. And so
that is beautiful.
Just the process of watching the kids grow and mature. And she struggled for a long time and kept it to herself, and it was so hard. And even when she started sharing some of her struggles with anxiety and all of these things, it was still so hard watching her go through it and trying to get her the help that she needed was so hard.
Wow.
And so my husband and I had already talked, like, she gets home, we're going to sit her down, we're going to have a talk with her. And we didn't even need to.
That's so beautifully said.
When she sent that text, I just sent a heart, because it was, I understand, and she's such a good girl. And she was the child who was struggling, and so she would lash out instead of asking for help. And it was so hard to reach her. It was so hard. And we tried so many things, but I still wasn't able to. I think because of some of my issues, it was hard for me to really be who she needed me to be.
Wow.
And I remember she had said to me once, "Why do you always make me feel so bad about myself?" And it hurt me, but it was hard for me to find the balance of trying to give consequences and trying to
not to hurt
teach her how to be this confident person when she felt like everything she did was wrong.
Wow.
It was so hard. It was so hard, because she would be so defensive. And I think it was because she was beating herself up even more than anything we could say. If we say, please pick up your things off the floor, it's been 3 days. It would hurt her so much. And now that she is in this space, I'm so proud.
That's amazing.
I'm so proud of her. And we didn't give her any consequences.
Yeah.
You know, because we've all had our time to be teenagers and to mess up and to explore and to do all of these crazy things and survive and learn from it. And I think she has just been living in this place of fear for so long that it was beautiful.
That really is beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Was that, you think, her breakthrough? That? Or could you see it before?
No, it is. She has been. She's been on this path of healing and self-discovery for a while. I would say maybe for a year, being open to exploring different ways to get back to feeling like herself again. And it's been so wonderful to be a part of her journey.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy that she trusts us enough, because I feel like kids need to know that home is their safe place, and that we are there to just help guide them. And I know kids are going to make mistakes, and I just want them to be able to survive those mistakes.
Yeah, and have a place to land.
And have a soft place to land. And I remember she said to me one day, she was talking about herself, and she said, I just want to be gentle with myself. I don't want to be harsh. I don't want to be critical. I just want to be gentle with myself. And when she said that to me about how she was treating herself, that's how I started to treat her. And so I know, because of my perfectionism, that I'm concerned about things that are not important.
Yeah.
You know, pick this up, pick that up. The picture's crooked, because that's my stuff. And I can imagine a child who that's not them, that's very stressful to have a parent who is that way. And so it has taught me to soften, and to take a moment, and if there's some clothes on the floor, to pick the shit up myself. It's not going to hurt anything.
Right.
And she knows how to do it, but I know that she has all of these things going on. And my goal now is just trying to figure out how to be supportive in the most loving way. And it's beautiful watching her blossom.
That's great.
And being able to just be a part of her journey. And she's turning into such a beautiful young lady. Right. And she's giving me hugs and kisses, and all of this she did. And I think she felt so different from everybody in the house.
But how did you get her to that? Or not you, but how did she get to that place?
How did she get to the place that she's in now?
Right.
Therapy, medication.
How long has she been going to therapy?
She's not even going anymore, but she was going for a year.
And
but she's seeing a psychiatrist, and she has a good mix, and I call it a cocktail of things. But she's finally open and not feeling ashamed about needing help. I think that's the biggest part. That before, just the stigma that was attached to needing help.
Right.
And she's releasing a lot of that, and we're giving her the freedom, you know, to be herself and providing the supports that she needs.
Right.
And but it's been quite a journey.
Wow. And she's only 17.
She just turned 17.
But to be that introspective in that text like that is something I feel like I just learned that in my 40s.
Yeah.
Where I was like, part of it is a silly thing where in my 20s, I feel like I missed out on a lot because I was just so religious. And I didn't, you know, sleep around. I mean, I wasn't a virgin, but I took a big pause to, you know, just soak in a lot of religion and Christianity, which I appreciate. But, you know, most of my peers were off doing different things.
Right.
And I was, you know, slow and steady, you know? And it wasn't until I started watching those silly shows, I talked to you about this, where you watch like Insecure and all those shows, and you're like, is that what everybody was doing?
Right.
I totally missed out.
Right.
And I'd have a conversation with a friend, and they're like, girl, yes, you missed out. And then you totally grounded me, and you're like, girl, you don't need a big old body count. Like, you don't want to walk into a room and this man knew they had you and that. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
Tell you, that happened to my friend the other day throwing a birthday party for her kid, and she's like, this is so weird. I had sex with this person, this person, all in the same room, and our conversation came back to me, and I was thinking, like how I told you, that's not a brag. Like, be okay with like you just being like, you know, not being around, you know, your body being sacred, you know, that's true. That's something to brag about. Yeah, that's something to brag about.
Yeah, it's true. But I just feeling like, you know, now when you're
anything.
No, I know, but when you're married and you're married for a long time, and then you look back at the time where you were allowed to be a little bit more free,
right?
You know, and
you feel like you didn't take advantage of your freedom.
But
now
I think
you want to be free. Now you want to be whining like a cat.
Okay. but the grown up thing to do is just to bring it into my marriage and not be harping on the fact that I wasn't a whore in my 20s.
Because you can be a whore for your husband. Yeah, you know that.
That's the maturity of it. Right. So, but to be able to be that introspective, you know, talking about your daughter is amazing.
And I love that therapy is becoming so, like, I don't want to say commonplace, but people are getting used to, especially Black people, used to being okay with not being okay, and okay with seeking out help because you're not feeling like yourself, or you know, or you recognize that I'm not feeling like I should feel. You know, therapy saved a lot of people. I'm in therapy now just because of like boundaries that I feel like I didn't put in place and have like not done a service for me in my life, you know, where I'm at now, you know, and like helping me to be a better mother. And then also giving yourself grace, which I told my therapist, interestingly enough, that sometimes I feel like giving yourself grace sometimes can be a cop-out because you're not owning the things that you've done, and you're trying to give yourself a pass by it's okay, and that's not really what it's about. It's just going easy on yourself and realizing that everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Everybody's life is not like a bed of, no one's life is a bed of roses, you know, and like we all have a different road. We all feel differently when we're on our road, and that therapy is just helping us be okay on our path and where we're going. You know?
Yeah. I do think though, when it comes to children, there's a fine line with therapy, because a lot of times, you know, saying that there's a problem, let me drag my kid into therapy. I'm not talking about major things like traumatic events and things like that. I'm talking about just not thinking that they're equipped enough to be able to handle their own emotions, and you have to go talk to somebody because you don't have it in you to
to
feel
work it
sad
out.
or to feel disappointment. You know, it's okay to feel the feels. If you're disappointed, be disappointed. You don't have
Because
to go.
you need to feel that.
You
It's
don't
a part
have
of
to go
getting
and
through
sit
it.
and talk and rehash the same disappointment over and over and over again.
Right.
So I think that there is a fine line when it comes to kids, and a lot of times us as parents are like, let me go see the therapist, you know, let me take them, or things that we've done to our kids, and then you drag your kid to the therapist to fix the kid after you done messed them up.
did it.
Yeah, it's
really your
like,
fault.
yeah,
Right.
look at the environment that you've created. Let's fix that stuff before you
Absolutely.
just go race them off and make them
Absolutely.
feel like they're going to be fixed by a therapist. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that it's not taboo anymore, and
Absolutely.
that there's a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah.
But just, you know, think when
And
it's
knowing and knowing when it's time.
Yeah.
Is the thing, because, you know, I'm certainly all about to feeling the feels.
Yeah.
And having those tools to be able to work through it. But I think once those feels get you to where you're not functioning the way you should be,
Yeah.
and you're not able to move past it,
Yeah.
and you just totally change
Right.
as a person, and it's so obvious to everybody. I think it's important to know when
Yeah.
the time is. And I know for me, it's been tough because I am a therapist, and having the background, you can't use it on your family.
On your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't, because they don't look
tricky.
at you as you're just
Yeah, your mom.
Your
Yeah.
mom.
And
You're
you
just
should
mom,
be, right?
and you don't know anything.
Right.
Even in my relationship with my husband, I'm very careful about the way that I speak to him, because I'm not his therapist,
Right.
and we're not in a counseling session. And I think sometimes I have leverage over him as far as being able to communicate and talk about certain things in ways that are above his head, and it's not fair to him, or my expectations are not fair to him, or even if I'm speaking to him like I'm at work as a teacher, you know, and there have been times where he'll say, okay, Mrs. Smith, you know, to kind of put
it
back
away.
in check,
Yeah.
you know, and kind of remind me, you know, that I'm speaking in a way that's not fair to him. And so I have to make sure, and I think too, when you're dealing with something personally, it's just personal, and you can't put that professional hat on, because your feelings and your emotions that are attached to it are completely separate.
Right.
When it's your family, and so that has certainly been something that I've struggled with, and I think even with my education, part of it was my motivation was because I want to do something different in my family, but my 2 years master's degree and my 20 years of being a part of this nuclear family, that weighs so much more heavily my experiences, my life experiences, than my education.
Right.
And so I'm more likely to go back to what I know and what I experienced. And even though I don't want to repeat some of the things that I did, I think that's going to be the first thing I go to of what I experienced, as opposed to what I learned in school. And that's what I have to be mindful of. And my kids are all very smart in this way, and they're able to bring me back. And I'm able to do that for my husband. And I think with parenting, I'm certainly very blessed to have Martin as my partner in it, because when he's too harsh, I'm able to be the soft.
Yeah.
When I'm too harsh, he's able to be. We're able to balance each other out, and I'm able to bring things to his attention that he might not consider, and he's able to sometimes be the voice for the kids when they're saying certain things about me. He's able to kind of co-sign like, yeah, right. That's right. But I know a mistake that my parents made was that it was very obvious that they were not a team, and so it provided an opening to manipulate. And that was the kid that I was, and it was more about survival for me to be able to see who's the safe person at this time. But they were very obviously not a team, and that's one thing that we try to make sure that we let the kids know that
you're together.
This is one. we are one in the decisions that we make, and even if we don't agree, we don't let them know that.
Right.
We will talk about it after, and then go back and talk to the children.
Your daughter's letter, though, or her notes to you, when you were reading it, I could totally visualize everything that she said that she was doing. It was like the perfect story, like almost like she was writing a screenplay.
Yeah,
it was very beautiful, talented.
Yeah, she wants to be. She wants to be a writer, and that has always been her mode of communication. I have so many letters from her. And I remember one. She was sitting, we were in Arizona, and she was sitting on like the rocks of our pool in the backyard, and she was writing so fast, and my husband yelled out to her, "You better not be writing some mean letter to your mama." and I said, "I can handle it. Let her get it out."
Right.
Because I didn't have that space as a kid to be able to express myself. And I feel like it hindered me, even to this day, of being able to fully express myself. And so I give them those spaces to be able to express themselves, no matter how it is. If they're a little loud or rude in speaking, I say, watch your tone, and the answer might still be no. But I want them to have the opportunity to practice with us
before
so
the world
that when they
them.
get out in the world, I want them to know how to practice with us, because and I want them to know that it's safe to do it, because where else are they going to learn?
Where else are they going to learn?
Well, you proved that method to be on point with that. Jeez.
Man.
I don't even know if we can go into another topic after that.
Because they're good. I feel like our kids
I just love that
our
she
biggest
feels free.
Teachers.
That's what I got from that.
But I got like you said, I got
free
the
and that
full
she's
picture,
light.
Right.
Yeah, of what how she was
know,
feeling.
Like, when did she just wake up and say, like, I feel so much better about myself?
Yeah.
One day you'll know.
It's very new. It's very, very recent, like within this last year, and it's beautiful. And I had this relationship already with my older daughter, and because she is such a big personality, my other daughter, I was thinking once she would have went away to school, that would give space and room
for
my and
it's already happening.
It is happening, and I don't know that it was so much about her sister leaving than her just being able to address some of the issues that she needed support in.
Wow.
But it's beautiful.
On that note, let's just do a cheers to the beautiful butterfly and the parenting milestone. That's a big one. I don't even want to add anything extra to that.
So it was a perfect.
I hope all your listeners soaked in that story and it helped you in a powerful way as it did for me. Yeah. We are the Middle-Aged Mamas.
Middle-Aged Mamas.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at 3_MAMA.s. And you can also write to us at middleagedmamas@gmail.com for any comments or questions you might have.